the silence was broken by the most disturbing intelligence briefing in decades. Deep inside Pentagon corridors, military officials stared at satellite images that would forever change America's perception of national security. If you think you understand the current threats facing America, you need to see what we've uncovered about China's secret operations just 90 miles from Florida. Hit that subscribe button and tell us in the comments what you think America should do about this unprecedented threat. What you're about to learn has been kept classified until recently, when brave whistleblowers and satellite imagery analysis finally exposed the truth. The Chinese Communist Party has been quietly building a network of sophisticated spy bases in Cuba, creating the most dangerous surveillance operation ever established so close to American soil. The story begins in the dusty archives of satellite reconnaissance, where analysts first noticed unusual construction patterns around Havana. What started as routine monitoring of Cuban infrastructure soon revealed a chilling reality that would send shockwaves through the highest levels of American intelligence. The first facility was discovered at Bejucal, a location with dark historical significance. This site had once served Soviet intelligence during the Cold War, its massive antenna arrays pointing menacingly toward the United States. Now, decades later, a new superpower was occupying the same strategic position. But Bejucal was only the beginning. As intelligence analysts dug deeper into their satellite archives, they uncovered a pattern that revealed the true scope of China's ambitions. The discovery of additional sites at Wajai and Calabazar painted a picture of systematic infiltration that had been occurring right under America's nose. The most shocking revelation came with the identification of a fourth site at El Salao, located on the southeastern end of the island. This previously unreported facility sits strategically near Santiago de Cuba, creating a surveillance network that encompasses the entire island and extends its electronic reach deep into American territory. Each location was carefully chosen for maximum strategic advantage. The sites around Havana provide direct surveillance capabilities over South Florida, one of America's most densely populated regions, and a crucial hub for military and civilian communications. The positioning allows Chinese operatives to monitor everything from Coast Guard operations to NASA launches from Kennedy Space Center. The sophistication of these installations defies belief. Advanced satellite dishes capable of intercepting communications stretch across carefully manicured compounds, while underground facilities house server farms and analysis centers that process intelligence in real time. The technology deployed represents the cutting edge of signals intelligence gathering, rivaling anything possessed by America's own intelligence agencies. What makes these facilities particularly dangerous is their ability to monitor multiple types of communications simultaneously. Radio frequencies used by military units, commercial satellite transmissions, and even encrypted government communications fall within the scope of their surveillance capabilities. The treasure trove of data flowing through these installations provides China with unprecedented insight into American operations. The strategic positioning near Guantanamo Bay adds another layer of concern for Pentagon officials. The El Salao facility provides direct observation capabilities over one of America's most sensitive military installations, potentially compromising operations that have been conducted in secrecy for decades. Chinese engineers have transformed these Cuban locations into sophisticated listening posts that can track aircraft movements across the southeastern United States, monitor naval operations in the Caribbean, and intercept satellite communications as they pass overhead. The comprehensive nature of this surveillance network represents a quantum leap in foreign intelligence gathering on American soil. The discovery of these facilities created immediate panic within Pentagon walls. Initial intelligence reports suggested that construction had been ongoing for years, meaning that vast amounts of sensitive American communications had already been compromised. The realization that China had been operating these facilities without detection raised serious questions about American counterintelligence capabilities. Defense Secretary briefings became increasingly tense as the full scope of the threat became apparent. Military leaders found themselves confronting a scenario they had never adequately prepared for: a hostile foreign power conducting massive surveillance operations from America's immediate neighborhood, with the full cooperation of a local government. The response from official channels revealed deep confusion and conflicting priorities within the American government. When news of the spy bases first broke in major media outlets, Pentagon spokesperson Brigadier General Patrick Ryder initially denied the reports entirely, stating that they were not accurate, and that the Defense Department was not aware of China and Cuba developing a new type of spy station. This denial created an immediate credibility crisis when additional evidence continued to emerge. Satellite imagery clearly showed recent construction activity at all 4 sites, with new buildings and expanded antenna arrays visible in high-resolution photographs. The contradiction between official denials and photographic evidence raised uncomfortable questions about what the government knew and when they knew it. The situation became even more embarrassing when National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby was forced to reverse course just 3 days later. In a stunning admission, Kirby acknowledged that China had indeed been operating spy facilities in Cuba, but claimed that this presence had existed since 2019, effectively admitting that the previous administration had also failed to address the threat. This blame-shifting exercise did little to reassure Americans about their government's competence in handling national security threats. The revelation that Chinese spy operations had been ongoing for years without effective countermeasures highlighted serious deficiencies in American intelligence and defense capabilities. Congressional hearings revealed additional disturbing details about the scope of Chinese operations. Intelligence experts testified that the Cuban facilities provided China with the ability to monitor air and maritime traffic across the entire southeastern United States, potentially tracking military exercises, Coast Guard operations, and civilian aviation patterns. The financial arrangements behind these spy bases added another dimension to the scandal. Reports indicated that China had paid Cuba billions of dollars for access to these facilities, providing the cash-strapped Cuban government with desperately needed foreign currency, while purchasing a front-row seat to American military and civilian activities. The implications for American national security cannot be overstated. These facilities provide China with real-time intelligence about American military capabilities, operational patterns, and communication protocols. Every training exercise conducted in the region, every naval deployment, and every Air Force mission potentially becomes visible to Chinese intelligence analysts. Commercial communications traversing the southeastern United States also fall within the surveillance net. Business communications, financial transactions, and personal conversations of millions of Americans may have been intercepted and analyzed by foreign intelligence services. The privacy implications alone represent a massive violation of American sovereignty. The threat extends beyond passive surveillance. Intelligence experts warn that the same facilities used for eavesdropping could potentially be used for electronic warfare operations, including jamming American communications or disrupting GPS signals during a crisis. The infrastructure for surveillance can quickly be converted to offensive cyber operations. Military strategists are particularly concerned about the implications for American force deployment and operational security. If Chinese intelligence services can track American military movements in real time, it compromises America's ability to conduct surprise operations or maintain the element of surprise in any potential conflict. The Cuban spy bases also provide China with valuable intelligence about American allies and partners in the region. Communications with Latin American governments, coordination with NATO allies, and intelligence sharing with friendly nations all become visible to Chinese analysts, potentially compromising diplomatic and military relationships. The response from Congress has been swift and bipartisan, with representatives from both parties expressing outrage about the failure to detect and counter these operations sooner. Homeland Security Committee hearings have revealed the extensive nature of Chinese surveillance capabilities and the inadequate American response to this growing threat. Intelligence officials now admit that the Cuban facilities represent just one component of a global Chinese surveillance network designed to monitor American activities worldwide. Similar operations may be underway in other countries close to American borders, creating a comprehensive intelligence gathering apparatus that rivals anything seen during the Cold War. The technological sophistication of these operations suggests years of careful planning and substantial financial investment. China has essentially recreated the Soviet Union's Cold War surveillance capabilities using modern technology, but with far greater precision and reach than anything previously achieved. American counterintelligence efforts are now scrambling to assess the damage and develop effective responses. The challenge lies not only in neutralizing existing surveillance capabilities, but also in preventing the expansion of Chinese operations to additional sites throughout the region. The discovery has also raised, some uncomfortable questions about American intelligence priorities and resource allocation. While billions of dollars have been spent on counterterrorism operations in distant countries, a major adversary has been building surveillance infrastructure in America's immediate neighborhood without detection. The Cuban government's cooperation with Chinese intelligence services represents a direct challenge to American influence in the Western Hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine's principle that foreign powers should not establish military or intelligence operations in the Americas has been effectively violated with impunity. Military experts are now calling for comprehensive reviews of American surveillance detection capabilities and the development of new technologies to counter foreign intelligence operations. The failure to detect these facilities until they were fully operational represents a massive intelligence failure that demands accountability and reform. The situation has also highlighted the vulnerabilities created by America's complex relationship with Cuba. Decades of sanctions and diplomatic isolation have pushed Cuba into the arms of American adversaries, creating opportunities for hostile intelligence operations that might have been prevented through different policy approaches. As this crisis unfolds, American citizens deserve answers about how their government will protect national security interests and prevent future intelligence compromises. The Chinese spy bases in Cuba represent more than just a surveillance threat. They symbolize a fundamental shift in global power dynamics and America's diminishing ability to control events in its own hemisphere. The stakes could not be higher. Every day these facilities remain operational, more American secrets flow to Beijing, and America's strategic position weakens. The time for half measures and bureaucratic confusion has passed. America needs decisive action to protect its national security interests and restore its position as the dominant power in the Western Hemisphere. The question now is whether American leaders have the will and capability to respond effectively to this unprecedented threat. The security of the nation may depend on the decisions made in the coming months as this crisis continues to unfold.